Good morning. Happy Friday. Good morning, sugar. Here's my song of choice. Say hallelujah. Oh, say hallelujah. Hey, good morning. We're in the spot. Hey, good morning, y'all. Don't believe me, just watch. Happy Friday. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Wait a minute. Whew, okay, that was good. I should have gave y'all a little more of that. Hi, y'all. Good morning. Happy Friday. It's your girl Stacy with Shh, Just Got Real. Welcome, welcome. Let me get with y'all. Let me get with y'all. Good morning, Britt. How you doing, sugar? So happy Friday. Today is March, May 25th. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let me get into the birthdays for today. We have Stevie Nicks. Y'all know who Stevie Nicks is? Yeah, I know. Old school. John Wayne. Okay, okay. We was just talking about westerns. Me and my sister. She says she don't do it, but I watch a western every now and then. How about y'all? Also, today is Lenny Kravitz's birthday. Happy birthday, guys. Oh, and let me say happy heavenly birthday to my grandma. Happy heavenly birthday, grandma. Enjoy. All right. Now, y'all know I like to do national days. Hey. Okay, the first one, Blueberry Cheesecake Day. Okay, now your girl like cheesecake, but they can keep the blueberry. Okay. Oh, yeah. No. Y'all do blueberry cheesecake? It sound good? Yeah. No. Also, today is cherry dessert day. Okay. Okay. Not too much into cherries like that, especially cooked. I'll eat a bean cherry, those type of cherries, but yeah, no. Good morning, Rebecca. How you doing, sugar? All right, today is also cooler day. I will be filling in the cooler here this weekend. This is a good time, right? All right, today is also Don't Fry Day. Okay? Don't be frying nothing today. Use your air fryer, use your oven. I am an air fryer queen. Okay? But wait a minute. I just seen somebody make noodles in the air fryer. Did y'all know that? Okay, I had to throw that out there. Yeah. Literally like spaghetti noodles. I've never seen that done before. That's kind of cool. All right, I know that was off the don't fry day, but don't fry none today if you can help it. All right. Today is also Heat Awareness Day. So that means it's gonna be hot today, y'all. Okay. Folks like myself do not like the heat. Okay. I have a problem with it. So I pull out of my garage, thank you, Jesus, that I have one, and I am instantly in air. And then when I go to work, I'm instantly freezing in air. So the heat, I haven't been getting too much of that. But this weekend, oh my God, it's all kind of stuff outside. Oh, Lord, help me, help me. I'm gonna have an umbrella. I'm gonna have some extra stuff going on. You know, as bigger women, we hold stuff in situations that don't need to be held. Okay, so you gotta handle that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Sugar. You have a good day too. Good morning. All right. Today is Paper Airplane Day. Oh, I seen this love story where the guy was okay. Do y'all know how to make paper airplanes? I do not. Okay, I've tried, but I'm not good at them. Good morning, Nat. Good morning, Sugar. How you doing today? Happy Friday. All right. Also, today is National Road Trip Day. Okay. Here's my issue with road trips. I get agitated real quick. Okay. I need an RV. I need an RV where I can move around. Okay. Road trips, I like every now and then, not very often. Yeah, I'm not a road tripper. Are y'all a road tripper? Guilty, Chuck? What? Girl, let's see. National Redhead Day. Oh, excuse me. Oh, they talking about natural. It don't say that. It don't say natural. So it don't have to be a natural redhead, right? Okay. So those are my national days. They were kind of all right. You know, we have some good ones sometimes, right? Now, before I introduce my special guest, okay, I'm so excited to have her here. Okay. Before I introduce her, I got to tell y'all a story. Okay. And then I got to read my word. We got to thank the Lord for waking us up this morning. Okay. All right. So let me tell y'all this story. Whew, okay. Earlier in the week, I am here in the living room and I am recording my podcast for the morning and it's freezing on me. And I am like trying to understand why. Okay. Now, normally I record in the back of the house. Okay. So I'm away from the modem. The Wi Fi modem is up front here. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm close to it. It's going to work great. But Monday, it froze on me a couple of times and I was mortified because it's never done that in the back. So I'm wondering, how is this possible? So y'all, I called Xfinity last night, right? My service provider. I called Xfinity. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I'm so confused. And so the guy that I'm speaking with, he was like, oh, one computer you have it at 5.7 and the other computer you have it at 2.4. I'm sure I'm getting that part wrong as far as the. Okay, so I'm like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? I didn't even know that was a thing. Oh, Miss Williams, don't worry about it. I'm going to fix it for you. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Because I don't need my podcast to be freezing in the middle of it. That's terrible. And he was like, okay, I got you taken care of. He said, you know what? And I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to watch your podcast and make sure that it runs well. And then if it don't, I'll take care of you. I was like, oh, now that is customer service on the next level. Jewel, if you watching, you the man. Okay? I told you I was going to talk smack about you this morning. Jewel's the man. What kind of customer service does that? It's 9 o'clock at night, too. I asked him what time it was, where he was at. He's in Vietnamese, y'all. So right now, it is 9 o'clock at night for him. Everybody say hi to Jewel. Jewel, you the man. That is customer service for your ass. Okay, I had to share that story. I love it. Hi, Jules. Thanks for watching. Share with your friends and family, sugar. All right. Now, I have a special guest this morning, Miss Amberli from Cornerstone of Care, y'all. I'm going to bring her in 2 seconds, okay? Give me 2 seconds, Amberli. I got you, girl. I am reading from Jesus Calling, okay? This is a great book. If you don't have it, please, please, please get one, okay? It has a verbiage, it has a verbiage here, and then it has the scripture down at the bottom, okay? This is a great book. And it's a daily read, okay? It doesn't have a year, so it moves on to the next year, okay? All right. So here we go. May 26th. Whew. In a world of unrelenting changes, I am the one who never changes. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Find in me the stability for which you have yearned. I created a beautiful, ordered world, one that reflects my perfection. Now, however, the world is under the bondage of sin and evil. Every person on the planet faces gaping jaws of uncertainty. The only antidote to this poisonous threat is drawing closer to me. In my presence, you can face uncertainty with perfect peace. Amen. Whew, that was a good one. Thank you, Jesus. All right, Revelations 22:13, Romans 5:12, and John 16:33. All right, amen. That was awesome. Okay, y'all, drum roll. We're going to bring in Miss Amberly with Cornerstone of Care. Her program, y'all, is called Show Me Healthy Relationships. And this is so important for a lot of us because we bring a lot of our baggage into our future. And we have to figure out a way to not make that happen. So we're going to bring in Miss Amberly, and she's going to help us figure out how to do that. Good morning, sugar. I
Good
can't hear you.
morning. Good morning.
There you
Good
go. There you
morning.
go. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hello,
Thanks,
Jewel.
thanks for coming. I know Jules the man.
That's incredible. When I think of customer service and like peak, delivery, I think of like Chick-fil-A, of course. But Jewel, you are going beyond, above and beyond what is
Yeah,
expected of your job, and that is amazing.
isn't that amazing, girl?
Yes.
That is customer service to the next level.
Yes. I've never heard of that before. That's awesome.
Thanks for coming, Jewel. I really appreciate it. Now, before we get into your Cornerstone of Care, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, my name is Amber. Or Amberly is my actual name, but I go by Amber. I am a University of Louisville graduate 2 times. I absolutely love my alma mater. Also went to the same high school as Muhammad Ali. I'm always excited and really, yeah, excited to share that. I'm proud of that legacy. Let's see. When I went to the University of Louisville, I studied Pan African Studies, communication, as well as social work. So I kind of, drew some things from all different areas of study. I came to Kansas City, accepted a job here. That didn't really work out. But I am glad to have joined the Cornerstones of Care team, working with Show Me Healthy Relationships. Essentially, similar to the program, I guess I'll kind of speak on the program a little bit, but similar to what is expected of the program and of participants, we do expect folks who are not perfect, who have not had the most ideal relationship experiences, whether that be intimate experiences or familial experiences. We welcome everybody, and in fact, we encourage those who are not perfect to join, and those who are perfect to create a safe space for those who are like myself, and are still kind of working toward that perfection.
So, what type of people do you kind of try to get on board with these classes? Because how does the classes work? Kind of give
Okay.
us an idea.
Okay, I'll give you a breakdown. So, we recruit folks who are okay, and I want to start by also saying that it is a study. So, the study is to assess if providing relationship classes can be helpful, and then also what makes up a healthy relationship. And so we look for folks who are single, who are in like non-committed relationships or in situationships that they're still kind of figuring out, trying to gauge. And Essentially, what we do is we start out with the intake process. That takes about an hour and a half of kind of just getting to know each other. That would be a whole host of questions about present, about your future, the goals that you are looking towards and striving toward. And then, in addition to that, we do surveys. The surveys are about the first survey is about 10 minutes, and then the second survey is about 30 minutes, which sounds pretty exhausting, which it can be. However, I do preface that with it is with a great payout at the end. The 8-week classes begins with the discussion of safety and creating healthy relationships, and then we go into discussions around spotting red flags, de-escalating situations, um, uh, healthy communication, how to be an active listener as well as assertive communicator. And you actually walk away with tools and strategies from these discussions. So, in some of the classes that other classes you might just hear someone speaking and for 2 hours. However, in the 2 hours you not only listen to us speak, but also you will be practicing the approaches as well, and then also we'll be encouraging you to take these things outside of the class and utilizing them beyond the 8 weeks that we have you. And we've had folks reach out and say, like, this has been really helpful. I've been able to use this in this way. So it really is something that, given the fact that it is free, the class is free, it's something that sometimes people pay for several hundreds of dollars, but this is something that you will be paid for. There is incentive to participate. So there's $10 for completing the initial surveys, $25 for completing the 8-week classes, and then on the very last day of classes, we'll do an additional survey, and from that survey you'll get another $10. So all in all, there's $45 just on the table. And then there are additional opportunities to earn more incentives as well, 25, 50 after uh, the classes have ended. So, it is an opportunity that one is free and also you're getting paid for. And in my mind, you really cannot beat that, given that you will walk away with tangible skills and tools. We'll talk about personality tests, or we'll do a personality test and talk about personality styles. um, and conversations are always interesting. Every class, no matter how much we try to stick to the curriculum in the manual, each and every class is unique.
I'm
Each and
sure.
every class, participants bring their own experiences and their own unique nuances and
Right.
discussion points, and so no class is ever the same, and I absolutely love it.
Wow. So are this in-house classes or in person? How do they, how does that work?
Right now, they are offered virtually. We are discussing opportunities to do classes in person. In person classes, we are talking about doing like dinner. So maybe like a Sunday afternoon, about 6 to 8, doing like a offering Gates or Arthur Bryant's and other food options and things like that. Um, and then offering childcare as well. So eventually, we do want to branch into that in person, and then kind of long term goal of mine is to do kind of a hybrid situation. So we have folks in person and online, or facilitators are doing in person and online, so that we can kind of, you know, reach a whole different market of folks who maybe, in person is your thing, but also, there are days where that you can't make it, especially during the summer times with vacations and things like that. So we are trying to meet folks where they are. But as of right now, we are doing virtual classes through Zoom.
So how do people contact you? Like, do they go on Cornerstone and set up a time? And because I see you have a class that's coming up here soon.
We do. We have a class that starts May 30th. And so what that is, essentially, we because Memorial Day is Monday,
Mhm.
I would like to keep the class kind of tight, kind of smaller than typical, because the intake process for us can be kind of exhausting at times. And my caseload is pretty full as of right now, so there is kind of a wait list. But the next class after that is the one that I'm hoping we can do in person. But also, right now, it's on the books is virtual. In order to contact me, I would love to just reach out, hear from folks. My number is 816-519-6601. Again, that's 816-519-6601. Or you can contact me at my email, which my first name is on the screen, Amberli dot S as in Sam, E as in elephant, A as in apple, Y as in yo-yo, at Cornerstones of Care, Cornerstone with an S. Um, and Also, another means of contacting us is by Googling Cornerstones of Care KCMO. There is uh, there's a tab on the website listed as our services, education and trainings, and then you'll see show me healthy relationships as an option. And then it'll take you to the website and allow you to register there. But I think probably the easiest means is just emailing me or calling me. Uh, and I mean, feel free to reach out to Miss Stacy and
Got
then
you. Got you.
just send me those referrals. I'm excited to, or I would love to, connect with folks. Especially, I feel like this is good company. So I'm
So,
sure that this will be a great crowd.
so let me ask you a question.
Sure.
I know at some point that these conversations can get pretty deep.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what do you do with people that are deeper than your conversation of trying to lead them in a good situation? What if the past has just taken them over and they don't know how to let that go? How do you deal with those type of situations?
So there's a couple different ways. Of course, as I mentioned, I do have a social work background, so I am not a therapist at all by any means. I was licensed at some point, did not renew my license. Now
Right.
I'm just kind of doing education.
Yeah.
However, with that background, I'm able to kind of direct folks um, in a way that also assists them with referrals and information. So, um, the class space, we only have 2 hours, so I'm not able to really delve into some of those past traumas and things like that. But we do have a wealth of resources that assist folks with kind of seeking the professional help that folks are. That's their work. That is the area of their expertise, and they do have the time. So I have in instances where referrals and information is necessary, that's one of the options. We have had well, it's not funny at all, but we've had a situation where we were talking about intimate partner violence, and in the middle of the discussion, somebody unmuted themselves, and in the background, you could hear kind of like it was intense. The vibe was just like something's going on. And in that instance, it was something that, shocked folks. Thankfully, me and the other facilitator, we were able to manage it in a way that participants were like, I didn't even know something occurred. But um, yeah, we've had situations that um, have been alarming. And we've had to provide additional resources and supports in ways that our work is not crisis focused, so we don't
Right.
always do that crisis work. But that was an instance where we, as a team, we just worked together,
Woo.
and like within 2 days, that person was able to get the assistance and help
Oh,
that
good.
they needed, and
Yeah.
were able to return to the next class. So thankfully, we do have
Oh,
a team of folks who are qualified and who are knowledgeable. And also, my teammates and I, we work so closely together to address issues that we do it in such a seamless way that folks don't even realize
that,
sometimes the
that
things
something's
that are
going on.
right, the things that are going on behind the Zoom calls
Oh
and
my
the
goodness.
mutes. So.
Yes. So I know yeah. You never know what to expect, I'm sure.
Right. But in instances where it's not as alarming or as crisis filled, I am here to just listen. I do take time to check in with folks monthly. Well, after, excuse me, not monthly. Check in with folks bi-weekly, and then once the classes have ended, I check in with folks monthly just to see how things are going. In a brief text, hey, how are you, how are things going, just checking in. And folks are always like, Amber, thank you so much for reaching out, haven't heard from you. So
Yes.
it's always a pleasure having good folks in the classes.
Well, that's good that you reach out. So I see a question here. Um, Is there an age requirement?
18 and older.
18 and older.
Yes.
Okay. And then also, I have a young lady here that I'm close with, been friends with for years. She has a catering company. So if you guys ever need anything catered, she got you. So you mentioned Gates, girl, boom. All that money y'all gonna spend on Gates, girl. Y'all can spend that money
Yay.
on my girl, the perfect season of KC. All right. And
Okay.
I'll get you her information. So if you guys ever
Yeah.
need anything catered, she got you.
Yes. Okay, that's
Okay.
appreciated. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate you. So let me ask you this. Okay. These skills that you have,
Mhm.
do you find yourself using them in your own life, your own relationship to kind of help you move along too? And just not,
Absolutely.
and if this is just not like these could be for relationships with family too, right?
Yeah,
Not
I
just
was
like
yeah,
a
absolutely.
significant other.
Absolutely. It's funny. So I will say, as I mentioned, I'm not perfect. So there are times where I'm like, you know what? I'm not using the skills in the way that I should be.
Mm,
However, there are other times where I'm really proud of myself because I am using those skills and using them in ways that others are also recognizing. So, for instance, outside of relationships, I was on an interviewing panel recently, and the candidates, I had several candidates that I was interviewing, and over time, the questions start to kind of fade. The answers begin to kind of sound the same and things like that. But it was really helpful using, for instance, the speaker listener technique. um, so for instance, if I ask, what is your favorite color? And the person, I love going on walks. And when I go on walks, I see this color and it just brings out joy and, so on and so forth. And
mm,
being able to actively listen and also restate and paraphrase what I heard
mm,
also allowed others in the interviewing panel to also make have a clearer understanding of what the interviewer was saying or asking. And so, for instance, we could do a speaker listener tech. Well, you know what? I'll just do it organically in this conversation.
okay.
But what the speaker listener technique that I'm referring to is, someone is speaking and the other person is listening, and they are identifying some of the key points of what is being said.
Mm,
And then after that person has finished speaking, they are paraphrasing or restating exactly what they heard.
mm,
And sometimes what you find is what you heard is not what that person said.
wow.
Um, and
Mm,
also for the person who's speaking, it allows you the opportunity to kind of be in a person's mind for a second,
mm,
slight second, just to see how they process what you said.
mhm.
And then also, maybe what you're saying is not what you mean.
Right.
So, hearing exactly what it
Wow.
is that a person is hearing and then what you're saying um, is so vital, because oftentimes when we're communicating, somebody's speaking and telling, what their experience is, and somebody's tuned out completely and has missed everything that was said, or the other person is talking in circles and not really getting to the point.
Mhm,
So I utilize these skills in everyday life.
mhm,
Another technique that we have is the timeout technique, which timeout is less about punishment. So when you think of timeout, you think of putting a child in a corner.
mhm,
But think of it in terms of like Andy Reid. So during a Chiefs game,
mhm,
Andy Reid will, call a timeout during a play
mhm.
if the momentum is kind of going and they need to come back and recalibrate.
Right.
It's a system to kind of get back to, here's the plan. Let's focus on this plan and let's go from here, as opposed to where we just came from.
Mm. So are you saying time out to yourself, like time out and then regrouping?
hmm
Is that what you mean when you say
You,
that?
yeah, you can say it to yourself and you can say it out loud. So, hey, I need to take a moment. I need to regroup.
Mm,
Let's come back and have this discussion in a moment, or in 10 minutes. Well, we encourage at least 30 minutes, so in 45 minutes, after I've had time to really think on what you've said, and also how I'm feeling, and how these two things are aligning or not.
Man, I think that will take away a lot of arguments if people did that timeout method, because people so quick to, soon as somebody say something they don't like, they're quick to, instead of saying, okay, let me walk away from this, rethink this, get my thoughts together, and then go back into it. That would eliminate so many arguments. I love that. I love that. Okay, let's see comment here. I call that the drive-through order test. Hey, cuz, the drive-through order test. That's pretty cool. Because you do
What's that? Which one?
well, the first one you said.
Okay. Okay. I've
Yeah,
never heard that before. Yeah.
that is pretty cool because if somebody's taking your order, you know what I'm saying, and they repeat it back to you, like you said, people hear what they want to hear, or maybe they get it right. Sometimes you can be like, yeah, okay, you got it right. And then if you said Coke and they say Dr. Pepper, I mean, you know what, you're not listening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See, and then I'm in the drive-through tripping. Okay, anyway, that's yeah. Yeah, I'm not ready to go there, girl. Yeah.
Would
That's
you like to
great.
practice it?
Oh, sure. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Stacy, it really bothers me that I come home and you are here all day long, and you do not do the dishes, and you don't clean up. It really irks me. It really bothers me, because what are you doing all day? Are you just chilling, or what?
Oh, hell no. I do what I want to do. If I'm paying half the bills that don't even, I mean, no, sorry. No, that's not proper. Okay, so what am I? Okay, wait. Now, am I supposed to respond to what you just said?
You are listening to what I said and then just paraphrase what I said.
Okay, so I'm paraphrasing. So
Mhm.
you basically saying that I need to do something with myself, that I'm sitting around, I'm not cleaning up. I've been here all day. Why I'm not doing anything, basically. And you're tired of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
That
Sure. Yeah. So yes, yes, that's exactly what I said.
okay.
That is.
I've said that
Um,
a few times in my life a few years ago. So
yes.
yeah,
Yes. Like, it's as simple as just hearing what the person said and paraphrasing exactly what they said.
yeah.
Um, it can I think I kind of did it backwards. It's probably more challenging to be a listener if you've never taken the class,
Right, right.
but but once you take the class, it'll make a lot more sense. I just did it. It's early and I did it
Yeah,
wrong.
you did it right.
But yes, you did it. You listened to what I said and paraphrased the fact that you know
I heard
I
that.
have issue. I have an issue with you not
Right,
doing the dishes.
right. I'm gonna need you to get the dishes done on a daily
Right.
basis. You home, you ain't doing
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I got you. In fact, some of y'all could be saying that to y'all man right now.
You
Oh,
know.
did I go there? Oh, sorry. My bad. So you
I
guys,
mind my business.
yes, I love Amberly that you are here to kind of help solidify some of the things that over the last few months we've been talking about mental health, right? And how there are ways that we can make our relationships better. Okay, it's so disheartening when people bring their past into their past relationships, their past hurt, instead of getting help to get those things taken care of before they start a new relationship, because it's not fair for you to bring your past and your negativity into a new relationship. You should come in fresh and ready and to trust the process. And a lot of that's not going on these days. So this program, Show Me Healthy Relationships, I think is amazing. And I think that if anybody, you know yourself better than anybody, that if you need just a little bit of a push, somebody to help you be accountable and work through some of the issues that you're having in order to have a better relationship with your loved ones, whether it's, girlfriend, boyfriend, whether it's your family, your mom, your cousin, your uncle, whoever it is that's important to you, and you know that you need to work on self, this is something that you guys need to do. You need to reach out to Miss Amberly at Cornerstone. Her number is 816-519-6601. And then Amberly, I have Amberly, Amberli dot SEA at Cornerstone. What's the rest of it?
Oh, SEAY.
SEAY. Okay, I got that.
Mm-hmm.
At
At
Cornerstone
Cornerstones of
uh,
Care.
of
Dot
Care.
I mean .org. Excuse me. I'll
Okay.
say that one more time.
I know. I got
It's
you. I got you.
okay.
Amberly.SEAY
Correct.
at cornerstoneofcare.org.
Stones with an S.
Cornerstones.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So cornerstones with an S. I'm putting this in the comment section. All right. And there is her email. Or yeah. Okay.
Um,
And then what else did you have?
yep. And I was gonna say oh. Okay. So my goal for those who are listening
Okay.
is to get Miss Stacy
Oh,
um
you done put me
to
on blast.
Yes, I'm trying to get you to be a person that folks are like, I want to take a class with Miss Stacy because I listen to her podcast. I'm gonna be in that next class that she's in. So y'all try to get her also on board because she has definitely. Oh, thank you for sharing that in the chat. She is definitely a heavy hitter in these streets. Definitely a force to be reckoned with, and um, this space is valued and necessary. And in order for folks to really feel, sometimes folks need that community that's already been established and that they know in order to trust the process. And
Yes.
so coming from me, that might not, who is she type of thing, but coming from Miss Stacy, um that is of value to folks who have been following and been on the what is it, yard
Uh-huh.
StreamYard
Uh-huh.
consistently. So y'all also encourage Miss Stacy to participate as well. And we'll get a group of all y'all. My goal is someday to have a group for Black women, a safe space for us, and then also a space for LGBTQ folks,
Yeah.
specifically so that we can talk about some of the nuanced dating experiences that we have,
Yes.
and that we experience that, folks perhaps are not as privy to or aware of, especially in facilitating and co-facilitating. And that is one of the charges that I am moving forward with. Like I said, I want to do something in person. So I'm hoping in the
Me
next
too.
couple of months to have some things to bring back to y'all and say, this is it,
Awesome.
you know.
I
And
love
also,
it.
in order for folks to really get on board, they need to see kind of there is an interest. There are folks who are saying we need this class. We really are interested. So
Right, right.
I hope that folks who are listening, you all also you take advantage of this opportunity because there are so few opportunities where you are getting education and you're getting paid for it. So
We love
why
that.
not?
Thank you. Thank you, Amberly. So I wanted to mention Cornerstone of Care. That's who you work out of, right?
Correct, correct,
So I see here that they partner with children, young adults, and families to improve safety and health through three key services, right?
correct.
Youth and family support, foster care and adoption. That's awesome. And education and training. Can you kind of expound on that? And then I'm gonna let you go. I know you got your day to do your thing and get people ready for relationship guru, relationship help. We all need it. I know I need it, but don't be putting me on blast, Amberly. I
Yeah,
peep that. I
absolutely.
peep that. Okay, go ahead.
So essentially, I am in the training and education division of Cornerstones, and what we do is kind of like a comprehensive. Or Cornerstones provides a comprehensive approach towards addressing family dynamics. And so when we think about, especially when it comes to foster children and youth, so when we think about services for young folks and families, that education piece is so extremely important, because before you even get into the thing about fostering families is that it is a opportunity for folks to choose their family in a sense. Now, granted, everybody that we serve does not um, fit the foster family experience. So we've had folks who that's not they aren't fostering, they've never been a part of the fostering experience, but are still interested in just developing healthy relationships. And so that is one of the key pieces of Show Me Healthy Relationships. Um, no matter what your family background or your family experience is, recognizing what it is that makes you whole, and how do you improve upon your life experiences and share with others, so that you're creating, one, a safe space, two, a happy place, um, and then three, you are creating a space where you're continually learning. One of the activities that I encourage folks to do is the needs, wants, and requires. Is that what it is? No, needs, wants, and desires. Um, I'm saying that wrong. Needs and wants chart, essentially. When you are entering into a new relationship, or when you are experiencing family dynamics and things, make a chart of what are five things, for instance, that you need in a relationship. What are five things that you want in a relationship? And then what are five things that you are willing to compromise on? And see how those things over time either stay the same or they change, because sometimes you recognize that what you may put in a wants column actually is something that you need, and something that you need may be something that you're willing to compromise, and all these things fluctuate, and maybe even over time. So I encourage you all, this is an activity that I that is free, that doesn't
Free, free,
require
free,
anything.
free, 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 free.
Yes, just
Yeah.
make a column, three columns. One on the top says needs, the other in the middle says wants, and then the third one says compromise. And make a chart for yourself.
I like that. So we got a question here. Do you help with autism?
Do I help with people?
Because we have people with autism. Do you get that dynamic as well? That's part of
Um,
a family, right? So,
right.
it's
In
not,
terms, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
oh no, you're okay. I'm just saying. Well, I guess that's kind of a self-explanatory question, because a family that has an autistic child, and that's part of the family dynamic. You have to,
Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. We have had folks who have experienced autism in the class.
okay,
So we don't exclude anybody of
no,
like
that's
that is illegal.
yeah.
But in terms of speaking specifically on creating or cultivating a healthy relationship with folks who have autism, we don't speak on that specifically, but we are open. Right now we are in the well, I'm in the this I have a meeting with the researchers today to discuss some of the areas of limitation within the research and the curriculum itself,
Mm-hmm.
and that is in an area that is not addressed. Somebody else brought up the disabled community recently that I was talking to one of the participants. They also mentioned sex and relationships among folks who are LGBTQ plus and who have a disability. So I would love to explore ways that we can create a curriculum that is inclusive to autistic experiences.
Yeah.
But outside of Show Me Healthy Relationships, the agency itself does work with folks who have autism. And also, there are things in place and structures in place in order to guide parents who are looking to adopt folks who are autistic. So there are resources out there for sure. Great
That would
question.
that is a great question. And actually that would be a good program for you guys too on that realm of just focusing on relationship with autistic adults too, because
Right,
they have relationships
right,
and they have to learn how to communicate with each other in a proper way and have
right.
good relationships. So that's something that you probably need to talk with your people today. You
Hmm.
know, and say,
I would.
hey, let's explore this more because that is a good question. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they call me the trouble. Well, I call myself the troublemaker because I am always, um, you know, just exploring ways that we can create a curriculum that is more inclusive and that does explore relationships that are non-traditional, non-hetero, outside of the nuclear family dynamic that we are so accustomed to, especially working at an agency where we do have foster families and things like that. I think, even in talking about maybe uh, relationships where someone may be autistic, the techniques that we use may not even be ones that are, there might be techniques that are more advanced or more
Right.
inclusive of an autistic experience. So that is, I haven't received that question before, and that's a great question.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. So I need you to follow up with us and let us know how
Mhm.
that turns out at some point. If you take that to the next level, I need you to say, Stacey, I need to come back because I need to let people
Mhm.
know this is what just transpired. Okay, I
Yes.
love that.
Yes, and
So
share information too, Sean.
yeah, if
Please.
you know of, or if you are interested in being part of that, I don't know if you take volunteers, but maybe you can have people that have, or that is autistic, or have dealt with autistic children or adults that will be able to give you some insight on
Right.
how they do communicate and what's proper for them. Because that's going to be a research thing for you. You're going to have to learn,
Mhm.
learn that,
Right.
Yes, since you never
Email
did.
me, Sean,
Yeah.
or call me.
Okay, so let's see. Sean, thanks, Sean, for that question. That was a great question. Sean, do you think it's a good idea to train TSA/airport staff on how both interact and differentiate between violent behaviors and autism behavior? Wow.
Do you think it's a good idea to train
That's kind of
TS?
a deep question, Sean. Okay,
Yeah,
Sean.
right, right. Sean is
Sean
asking.
on it this morning, Amberly. Ooh.
Sean, man.
You need to do some
I
research on that before you answer, Sean, because that's deep right there.
Yeah, yeah, that might be a. Is there a thesis on that I need to
Right.
be aware of? Because I think I don't think it's a bad. I think any and all education training, um in order to become more um empathetic to experiences, is always a great thing. So I think it is a great idea to train TSA, airport staff, pilots, uh, what are the folks that walk down the aisle? Shoot, what are they called? Flight attendants.
But
Um, flight tees. I think it's important that we all learn ways of interacting with violent behaviors, ways of interacting with autistic um, um, experiences. I think, of course, and I venture away from conflating those two things. Violent does not equate to autistic, and
I
vice
was
versa.
wondering, how do
Yes.
you know the difference? Are artistic people violent? I don't understand the two together. Because
Yeah, I'm not.
I would know the difference. And I work with people every day. So is that a thing? I didn't know that if somebody that's autistic is being violent with me, how do I know the difference? Because
Mhm.
once you start getting violent with me, I'm on a whole nother headspace. But if I know that person is autistic, then I might be able to hold that anger in and try and diffuse the situation because I know they're autistic. But I didn't know that those two were hand in hand.
Yeah, I don't know. I will be honest. I definitely need to do more research and digging into becoming more aware of the autistic experience. But I try to. I do have family members and folks who are a part of that experience,
Mm,
and oftentimes you do see mental health being conflated with um, problem behaviors or violence and things like that. So I do venture away from that. But we do, it's funny that you mentioned that because that brings up for me, we have a discussion around safety. And we have four safeties that we talk about. The first is physical safety. Of course, your well-being and your physical body being in a place of non-threat, as well as emotional safety, being yourself around people and not feeling like you have to change who you are. And then there's commitment safety and community safety, which are always a challenge. Well, in the beginning, it was a challenge for me to grasp, but I give it this example. So I have a dog that I adopted from the Pet Project, and she has a rich history of trauma before us. And when we first got her, we would set food out and she would just run up and just, eat it so aggressively and so fast. And it would shock us at times because it's like, girl, you the only dog in the house. You're gonna
right,
have food. But they called it resource guarding, where dogs will because they don't know where their next meal will come from, they just go after the food and, there's no stopping them.
right,
And so when we talk about commitment safety is knowing that there's loyalty and there's somebody who is going to continue to feed you. So you don't have to gobble up your food
right,
in 2 minutes or, well, 30 seconds or less.
right,
And instead you do. So okay, sorry. Okay, I'm kind of going all over the place. But commitment safety is knowing that you'll have food. So, in order for us to create a safe space for her and show that we are committed to her, I do meal preps for her. So I cook like chicken every Sunday. I do chicken or
right.
steak or something. And I'm vegan, so
Oh,
I try to do well by the dog, but
okay.
what we've noticed is since meal prepping for her and giving her the kibbles and bits that she was accustomed to,
Mm,
so she gets technically 2 meals each morning or at night. Um, in us doing that, we've also noticed that she no longer attacks her food in 30 seconds or less. She takes
mm,
time. We have the puzzle bowls and things like that, which also create in her kind of um, something to slow down,
mm,
some barriers that cause her to slow down. So that when we talk about that commitment safety, we're talking about knowing that there's going to be a meal each morning,
yes.
each night at 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to
Rush
you don't
to,
have to do that resource guarding.
yeah.
And then also we talk about community safety. Again, I reference my dog. Um, when we first got her, and she still does this actually, but when we first got her, especially when we first got her, when we took her on walks, she would lunge at people. Um, and it was strange because that was a new occurrence when
Mm,
we saw her in the place and was doing the foster exchange and things like that. She was the sweetest dog.
right.
um but we noticed over time she would like I said, lunge at people and like show these aggressive traits that
Mm,
were unhealthy and
mm,
frightening, really, for especially for folks who were just casually walking down the street.
right.
And eventually we 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 have had to kind of do more redirection training and things like that, so that when we walk down the street, she's no longer lunging at people. She can walk down the street like a regular dog. We
Well, what did
still
you
have
do?
that. I'm
What did
sorry.
you do? I'm sorry. What did you do to stop him? Is it a him or her?
It's a she.
Okay, she. What did you do to stop her from doing that?
You do, so it's like redirection. So let's say she begins lunging. Uh Instead of walking in the direction that we were initially walking in, I'll take her and walk in the opposite direction,
Mm,
because what she's trying, it's like taking the motivation out completely. So what she is looking or lurching towards is no longer a stimuli if
mm.
you walk in the opposite direction.
Right.
And it has worked.
Wow.
She still has work to go. She still
Yeah.
has, you know, but so we were doing the redirection trainings and things like that, and people would walk up and she would just be kind of just angry. And I had to sit down and talk to her, and I said, listen, I was living in this neighborhood before you got here.
Right.
You
Don't start
just
no mess.
Right. I
Right.
was walking these streets by myself before you
Um.
got here. So
Yeah.
I can take care of myself. I can take
Yeah.
care of
My
me. I don't
protection
need
thing.
you. Right. I
Um.
don't need you doing that,
Yeah.
because ultimately it's making both of us look crazy.
Right.
So I've continued to just teach her different methods and things like that. And that's essentially what community safety is: just having somebody in your corner and supports in your corner who are willing to redirect you and give you the
Yeah.
delicious treats and the rubbings and the lovings that you
Yes.
deserve.
Yes.
So hopefully that's helpful when recognizing commitment safety is just that loyalty, and community safety is knowing that you have supports in place that are there to protect you and have your best interests at heart.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, Amberly, I really appreciate you coming. All right, and I want to have you back. Okay, maybe after the last class, maybe after my followers and I set up ourselves on that next class. Okay, we'll come
Yes.
back, and then I'll have more. I'll have more education of the class, and I'll be able to talk about it even more.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So we appreciate you. Any questions in the audience? Thank y'all for coming and joining your girl. So wait, I like to play my music at the end. Okay. Amberly, thank you for coming, sugar. Is there anything else we missed? You got anything else you want to say before I close out?
No, no, no. Thank y'all for your time. Thank you so much for sharing questions and sharing space. Thank you so much.
We love it. We love it. Thank you for coming, honey.
Absolutely. Do I just leave the studio or do I stay?
And let's give Jules a shout out. Jules in the building. Xfinity. That's customer service for you. Hey. Thank y'all for coming and joining your girl. All right. Make sure you pray for somebody. Pray for your friends and family. Pray for your co-workers and their family. Pray for your children. Okay. Pray for this horrible world and the horrible people that are in it. All right. Thank y'all for joining us. And happy Friday. And y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Hey.
Bye.
Bye, Amberly, honey.
Yeah.
Thanks y'all for coming. Don't believe this one. Don't believe this